Hi there, Mark Jaben here, Medical Director for the Haywood County Health Department. Let's talk about this pandemic. Time again for the weekly update. And the summary is, well, here we go again. Cases up and surging, particularly by the end of this last week here in Haywood County. So time to pivot and be careful at home, at work, at play, so we can get through this holiday season and remain as well as possible. So please share this with everyone you care about. Across the country, further orange in the northwest, and see how the red is creeping into the southeast, particularly into North Carolina. The northeast and upper Midwest remain solidly in the red zone. In fact, 36 states in the red zone at this point. For our neighbors, note Tennessee, a little less red in the middle of the state. They actually dropped just back down into orange. South Carolina up a bit more. Georgia, kind of flat. For North Carolina, up again this week. 64 counties, now 2/3 of the state in the red zone. That's up from 56 counties last week. Only 2 remain in the yellow. And notice that cases have almost tripled in the state in the brief time of this surge. Hospitalizations continue to be up, and deaths are now starting to head up. Across western North Carolina, no longer any counties in the yellow, 8 in the red, 3 in the orange, and 9 of the 11 counties in our region with increases this past week. Only 1 county actually was down and 1 was flat. And Macon, which was in yellow last week, but just like last surge, where they lagged early but then caught up, they are rapidly catching up again after this week and now actually pushing red zone status. As far as testing, North Carolina above the 5% threshold. 3 counties remain below 5% in our region, but 3 now are above 10%. And note that Macon, Clay, and Cherokee doubled their test positivity this past week, swayed up significantly. Haywood County remains well above 10%. And for Haywood County now a total of 8,114 cases for the pandemic. That's an increase of 175 over the past week. That's a little below the actual weekly increase we saw the same week a year ago, but it's still more than a 2 times increase just since the beginning of December. The upper graph still not showing exponential spread yet, and week over week that graph flat compared with last week. But with test positivity up above 10%, it's most likely we will see continued increasing numbers. Deaths now 156 for Haywood County for the entire pandemic. The 2 most recently reported are actually from November, meaning this year November now had more deaths than last November in 2020. Haywood Regional remains around 15 COVID-related admissions, with several in the ICU and on ventilators. And much of the time the hospital is on EMS diversion. Europe and the UK continue to see growing cases. In the UK, it is believed that Omicron will be the dominant virus in another month, and you can see that our surge is tracking theirs. Our cases right now are from Delta. More than 90% of new cases in Haywood County are in those not vaccinated, and that's been so for many, many weeks now. Those getting infected are not immune protected. They're not vaccinated. Those hospitalized are predominantly not vaccinated, and those dying are all not vaccinated. Omicron has now been reported in North Carolina. No surprise there. And it's thought to be at least twice as contagious as Delta, and Delta was 3 or 4 times as contagious as the original virus. So there has been some speculation that Omicron will not be causing as severe illness as Delta. But honestly, it's a bit early to say for sure. We'll undoubtedly find out. So don't wait to find out if that's the case. If vaccinated and it's been more than 6 months, get a booster. If recovered and more than 6 months since you were infected, get a booster. You will actually have the most robust protection of anyone. And if not vaccinated and never had a positive test to prove your illness was actually COVID, you are at the highest risk. Give yourself your best chance to not get infected, not get hospitalized if you do, and stay well. Get vaccinated ahead of Omicron. And as far as upcoming holiday gatherings, here's a graphic that might guide you in how to more safely gather together. And please note, we are now 2 weeks, 14 days before Christmas. Time for those you plan to gather with to all begin being careful ahead of those gatherings. So be well and be safe, especially right now.